Foundations of Amateur Radio. Over the past few months, I've been investigating the history of the IARU, the International Amateur Radio Union, to help it celebrate a century of amateur radio achievements. If you're a radio amateur and you pay anyone a membership fee, I have questions for you. Let me set the stage with a quote from the IARU. Quote, "All licensed radio amateurs benefit from the work of the IARU, whether or not they're members of their national IARU member society. But every radio amateur should be a member. Only by combining our efforts in this way can we ensure the future health of amateur radio, for ourselves and for future generations." End quote. That's straight from the IARU website. It seems like a lofty and worthy aspiration. Before I proceed, let me assure you that I'm absolutely committed to improving this hobby and this community, committed to strengthening its representation, its reach, and increasing its activity levels. The IARU has existed for nearly a century. It consists of a global organisation and 3 regional ones, each working towards improving on and advocating for the amateur community. Governed by different constitutions, each organisation pursues similar but not identical roles within its sphere of influence. Most, if not all, IARU organisations are run by volunteers, people like you and I, who stick their hand up and help out, writing documents, attending meetings, updating websites, managing membership information, and all the other things that the IARU apparently does. I say apparently because getting anything other than motherhood statements from any of the IARU organisations is like pulling teeth. To construct a historic list of elected office bearers, President, Vice President, Secretary, Treasurer, and various regional directors is an exercise in archaeology, and much of the information doesn't appear to exist. That also seems to be true for what the IARU is spending its money on, your money. The IARU is funded by the fees that we pay to the representative body in our country, either directly or as a member of a club who contributes. In my case, if I was paying a membership fee to the Wireless Institute of Australia, like I did for a decade, some of that would pass to the IARU Region 3, and then from there some would pass to the global IARU Secretariat. Multiplied by every country and every paying member in that country across a century, there are significant and, to the best of my knowledge, unaccounted for sums of money involved. Then there is the list of things that the IARU has achieved. I don't doubt for a moment that people have been working very hard, giving it their all, helping, working late, doing things above and beyond to make outcomes appear, as if by magic, without any of the blood, sweat and tears associated with the process. I suppose it's like sausage, nobody wants to see how it's made, and I understand the sentiment. What of the outcomes, the published results? Should they be secret too? At the moment, the IARU claims that it represents amateur radio on the global stage, and on its website lists its achievements, namely 21 MHz, amateur satellite, WARC bands, more amateur satellite bands, more 7 MHz frequencies, easing of restrictions in relation to disaster communications, 136 kHz, 472 kHz, 5 MHz, 50 MHz in Region 1, international roaming, and emergency communications. Impressive list, right? There's 12 achievements listed in all, across 100 years, with meetings in cities all over the globe with hundreds of people participating. Mind you, it appears that only recently has some level of coordination emerged between where meetings are held. By and large, each organisation meets every few years, staggered, so there's always a meeting in a different country every year. Those frequent flyer miles must be adding up. If only there was another way to communicate across the globe. So let's look at this in terms of effort and reward. Let's say that across the globe that at any one point in time there are 100 people part of the IARU infrastructure across the 4 organisations, or 25 in each. It's a modest representation. Let's say that they each volunteered 1 hour per week, so 52 hours a year, 5,200 hours across the entire IARU per year, or 520,000 hours across a century. This means that each achievement took more than 43,000 hours of volunteer effort. Unless, of course, there was more achieved that is undocumented. Mind you, 52 hours per year per volunteer is also probably light on, potentially by orders of magnitude. I note that, for example, there's no mention of things like quashing the 2-metre proposal by France, where the local aviation authorities were looking to acquire some extra spectrum, or negotiations in relation to 1.2 GHz at the ITU World Radio Communication Conference 2023, or WRC23, in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, held between 20 November and 15 December 2023. My point is this. What is the IARU doing? Is it really effective, or is it burning volunteer hours like it's going out of fashion? What is it spending your money on? Where is the record of all this activity? What level of accountability is there? Is your peak body looking at the IARU books? Are they holding the IARU accountable, or are they part of the problem? There is plenty of evidence that there are other issues too. As I said, I attempted to write down who was elected president in what year, in which IARU organisation. Aside from missing decades of information, there are amateurs in that lineup who served as president for 26 years. Imagine that, a representative body that elects the same person for 9 straight terms. I'm not naming them, the information I have is incomplete. Right now, I cannot tell you who was previously elected across IARU Region 3, or list anyone between Hiram Percy Maxim, elected in 1925 as the first IARU president, and 2009 when Tim Ellam, Victor Echo 6 Sierra Hotel and Golf 4 Hotel Uniform Alpha, was elected president to the global body. But it's unclear if he was the only president between 2009 and 2024 when he was re-elected. So what do we do about this? First of all, am I just tilting at windmills, or is this an actual issue that needs fixing? And if so, what might that look like? Engagement would be my first guess. Is your club sending money to your peak body? Has it asked what the funds are used for? If you're a member of your peak body, have you asked them where the money goes, and how much of it goes to the IARU, and what it's spent on? Contacting your peak body and asking questions might be the first place to start, but if your peak body is dysfunctional, as plenty of them appear to be, perhaps it's time to contact the president of your own IARU region and ask them what gives. That is, if you can find out who they are. As I said, I think that our hobby is important. I think that it needs advocacy. I think that takes money and effort. But right now I have very limited evidence that what we're doing and how we're doing it is the most effective way to go about it. What will you do about this? I'm Onno, Victor Kilo 6, Foxtrot Lima Alpha Bravo.